If you've ever felt that something inside you changed over time, without you noticing exactly when, then this message is for you. Not because something went wrong, but because this is how the mind evolves. A mind does not form through sudden decisions. It forms through exposure, through repetition, through what is presented as normal before it is ever questioned. At the beginning, there is no filter, no resistance, only absorption. What appears repeatedly becomes familiar, and what feels familiar slowly becomes unquestioned. As time passes, structure appears, rules, expectations, patterns that repeat themselves. So often they stop being noticed. You don't actively choose most of these patterns. They settle quietly, shaping perception before awareness exists. This is how behavior forms before identity, how reactions exist before reflection, how influence operates without needing permission. Over time, the environment no longer needs to push, because the correction becomes internal. The mind starts adjusting itself, limiting itself, rejecting certain thoughts automatically without asking why. At this stage, influence is no longer visible because it no longer feels external. The body grows, capabilities expand, information increases, but the internal structure, the way reality is interpreted, remains mostly unchanged. New ideas arrive, but they are filtered through old patterns. New experiences appear, but they are interpreted through learned responses. What was once absorbed becomes defended. What was once repeated becomes identity. If at some point you felt a vague sense of misalignment, a quiet tension you can't fully explain, this is often where it comes from, not failure, not weakness, but unconscious conditioning reaching its limit. As adulthood settles in, the cost becomes clearer. Effort without clarity, movement without direction, frustration without a visible cause. The mind feels constrained, yet cannot point to what created the constraint. And here is what rarely gets explained. The moment you become aware of the pattern, it stops operating silently. Recognition introduces distance. Distance creates choice. This isn't about rebellion, and it isn't about rejection. It's about understanding the mechanism clearly enough to stop being guided by it unconsciously. If you recognize parts of yourself in this process, then this channel speaks your language. Follow it, because what comes next goes deeper than observation. This series exists to map how the mind was shaped, so it can stop repeating the same structure automatically. Once the pattern is seen, it no longer controls the direction without being noticed.